What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I'm going to try and explain to you how Nubia have made this phone so goddamn cheap. And spoiler, I have no idea. Let's go. So if you are new to the channel, I'm the Average Dad. I do tech reviews on pretty much every single phone out there, particularly flagships. And very recently, I done a three-way comparison between the Oppo X9 Pro, the Vivo X300 Pro, and the OnePlus 15. All three phones with a fairly hefty price tag, but for me, there's a lot of bang for your buck. Well, just yesterday, I received this, the Nubia Z80 Ulltra. Now again, if you watch the channel, you will know that I've got the Red Magic 11 Pro, which is essentially the Z80 Ulltra, but without the cameras. The Z80 Ulltra is the Red Magic 11 Pro, but with the cameras, without the liquid cooling. I'll do a video to explain all, but ultimately, both phones are incredible at what they're made for. And let me explain. The Z80 Ulltra is made for people who are budget conscious but want every single flagship spec and then some, with good cameras. So, here's a little spec dump. DDR5X RAM or 5X plus RAM, UFS 4.1 storage, 7,200 mAh battery, 80 watts wireless charging, 80 watts wired charging, a triple camera setup with a 50 megapixel main at 1/1.3 inch and a 64 megapixel telephoto zoom lens that will go all the way up to 50 times. The display is 6.85 inches and it's uninterrupted. Because there's no traditional hole punch, it's an under-display selfie camera. Dual speakers, Full HD plus resolution panel, all the way up to 144 Hz. There's a dedicated gaming mode on here, just like on the Red Magic 11 Pro. There's a super handy switch to go from silent mode or ring mode, and you can actually customize this to do a lot of different things like turn on your torch, etc. This phone packs every key feature and everything I'm looking for from a flagship device. But this phone doesn't cost £1,200 like the Samsung. It doesn't cost £1,000 like the Oppo X9 Pro. It doesn't even cost £900 like the OnePlus 15. This phone from Nubia UK, not even the Average Dad tech store, I'm going to tell you right now, me, cannot compete with Nubia UK. So if you're in the UK, don't even go to my store. It's a pointless exercise. We're charging £750 for this device, which on a normal day would be bloody good value. But Nubia UK are selling this for £709, but if you use the code that you just click a button on beside the price, it'll give you another £20 off, including shipping. You can pick up the Starry Night half terabyte version for £700, including shipping. I don't understand how this has happened, because do you know what else I've not mentioned? It's the Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 chip in here. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I'm going to try and explain how. But the answer is fairly simple. Business, the world revolves around money. And if you're a business, you want to make profit. And I've mentioned this in many videos before with iPhone and Samsungs and Google Pixels. The cost to build a phone, so the BOM, the build of materials, is obviously super low compared to the recommended retail price. We all know that. The more phones you build means the more parts you need, means you can get all your parts for cheaper, building the device for a very low price. So for example, the Samsung S25 Ultra will probably cost Samsung roughly 1 to 150 GBP per unit. That's the cameras, the battery, the chipset, the titanium rails, everything. Round about £150. And that's maybe overshooting, or it's maybe just a little bit more than that. But Samsung charge you 1200 GBP for the pleasure of buying their device. So is that, what, like a 1000% markup? I can't even do the maths, my brain's not switched on. But just know that Samsung will be making 10 times what the phone actually costs them to make. And this is where Nubia comes in. Now, I don't know the build of materials. I would imagine, again, because this has better specs than the Samsung S25 Ultra, we'll say this is around £200 per unit to buy, because Nubia are making nowhere near as many units as Samsung and Apple. But what Nubia have decided is, well, do you know what, guys? We'll make this phone for £200 and we'll sell it for like 3 times, 4 times the amount. Are we happy with 300% profit? Yeah, cool. And the reason they've done that is to get people like you interested in buying phones like this, so that reviewers like me can glaze them on their pricing. And folks, that's exactly what I'm going to do. You will not find a better flagship level phone for cheaper. I've only used it for about 30 hours, but camera wise, brilliant. Here's some nighttime shots, because I know I always take daytime shots, just a couple, and a nighttime video to show you, because those that say it's easy to take a good picture in light, okay pal, here's some nighttime and here's a video. Absolutely spot on. 8K 30 frames per second, 4K up to 120 frames per second. And then, as I've already talked about, this display is uninterrupted. It's like a 97% screen to body ratio, because the bezels are thin and there's no hole punch or pill-shaped cutout for the selfie camera. So look at the content viewing experience on this device. And of course this goes for the Red Magic 11 Pro as well. Absolutely unparalleled in the flagship game. And you know how I mentioned dual speakers? Well, they're not just any dual speakers. Nubia, they know how to make some good sound out of these devices. Have a listen. And I know how it sounds. It sounds like I'm just bigging this up. But it's just the truth. I don't want you to go to my site. Unless you live in a country that doesn't sell Nubia, then my price is pretty damn good. But if you live in the UK, you better not come to me for this. In fact, if you live in the UK and you order through my site, I'm going to cancel your order and email you the link to Nubia UK. That's a promise, because the deal is just second to none. And it's not just Nubia doing this now. These flagship level phones for more mid-range budget friendly prices continue with companies like Redmi and Realme. And I bring that up for a particular reason, because today I got probably the sexiest phone I've ever used. The Realme GT8 Pro Aston Martin Limited Special Buna Edition. This phone is incredible, and again, if you haven't already, smash subscribe, because I'll have the full unboxing and first impressions of this utter beauty with a changeable cap. So you can have a circular camera bump or a square camera bump. And this phone comes with 2 cases in the box, not just one. Yeah, Realme, doing absolutely the right thing. And I think, top of my head, we sell the Realme GT8 Pro on the average dad tech store for roughly £700. It's a Quad HD panel, folks. That video's tomorrow. I don't want to go on too much about it. So, back to the Nubia. Everything about this experience in the first day or so has been perfect. The only two small downsides with the software experience the only two things I want to bring up that are downsides on my first impressions are: there is no Google Discovery feed. This is the global version, 100% global. But there is a My OS feed, which is kind of like Google Discovery, but it's just not good, so I've turned it off. You can turn it on, so when you swipe right, there will be a panel like Google Discovery. The other thing is home screen customization. Well, there's wallpapers, and you can change the colour of the Google search bar. I've shown you how to do that. I like how this looks. You can change the icon shapes, but you cannot do two things that I love to do. You can't remove the app labels at all. The app labels are stuck. And you can't enlarge folders or resize the icons. Now, I made a video about this before on ColorOS and OxygenOS. I am really enjoying being able to make larger Gmail, WhatsApp, Instagram icons, make huge folders, smaller folders, long folders. You can't do any of that on the Nubia. That's been the only downsides I've found so far. And of course, it goes without saying, let me just do this live, the selfie photos are fine, actually. But if you're a selfie taker, if you're looking to take really glam selfies, then a Nubia or a Red Magic device isn't for you. While they are improving year on year, like this is the best selfie implementation Nubia I've had so far, I'll take that for an uninterrupted display every single day of the week. So, my mission was to explain how Nubia are making this phone so cheap for all the specs in this video and give you my first impressions. Well, first impressions are A+ outstanding, love this fucking thing. And my mission to explain, Nubia are simply just happy to make a lot of money rather than a shit ton of money. That's the easiest and simplest way to explain it to you. Now, I will be doing a full versus video between this and the Realme because these are so similarly priced. I might get round to a versus or camera comparison between this and the Oppo and the OnePlus. We'll see. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. It doesn't stop there for mid-range to budget because I've got a super budget phone sent from me from my friends at Poco. The Poco F8 Pro. I had to read that there. I wasn't sure if it was Ultra or Pro. The Poco F8 Pro has been sent to me. I will do a full specification dump, first impressions, probably on Friday for that one. But again, you talk about value for money. I can't officially tell you the price yet, but bloody Nora and Jesus. It's wild what you can get for your money these days if you're willing to leave the world of Samsung and Apple. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that stuff that YouTube hang over my head like a grey cloud. And I'll be back probably tomorrow with the Realme GT8 Pro unboxing and first impressions. Until then,